Lights, camera,
Rolling.
action.
I feel the need for speed. Ow!
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand. Wax on, wax off.
He taught me, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
Hi, I'm Joe, and this is the Filmjoe Podcast, where film talk happens. Hi, I'm Joe, and welcome to a special bonus episode of the Filmjoe Podcast. Today we have director Robert Deboucher, along with producer Robert Enriquez, the creative team behind the comedy crime thriller Rolling.
Rent again? How much more?
10%.
What scumbag? What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
Someone took something very dear from us.
You girls should not have done that. The men in that club are very well connected. If your landlord is doing anything with them, that is not somebody you want to be taking from. They will catch you. And they will hurt you. Then you. And they'll make you watch.
Alrighty, welcome guys, and thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Yeah, and unfortunately we couldn't get Ethan on, who's the co-director on this. We had some technical difficulties, but hopefully we can have him on in the future. He seems like a very nice guy, very cool gentleman.
Yeah, I feel its presence in the room with me, so I'll try to channel that energy as much as I can.
So first of all, let me start this off, guys. I really enjoyed this film. This was a lot of fun. You know, a little dark humor, a little crime violence, a little LA scene kind of drama. You know, it definitely gave me a 90s indie vibe, as well as kind of surreal feeling, a little bit of Thelma and Louise, Risky Business. It was really a lot of fun. I really love the look and feel of this film.
Thank you. Yeah, you nailed all of our influences right on the head. So glad that I connected with you.
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, I'm a sucker for stylistic cinema, you know, with cinematography and score and tone and mood. And yeah, again, this had it all for me. You know, so which leads me to, how was the specific visual language, again, the color palettes, the lighting, camera movement determined for this film?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, well, like you mentioned, I mean, it's definitely inspired by a lot of our favorites from the 90s. When we were building out our initial lookbook and sizzle reel for the film, we pulled a lot from True Romance and Thelma and Louise, kind of early, both Ridley and Tony Scott. We love the look of a lot of the kind of crime thrillers of the 90s. They just played a lot with color and contrast. And we really wanted to kind of have that gritty texture to the film and capture that. I think a lot of times nowadays with like digital cinematography, everything always looks very clean and perfect, and we wanted to just go in the absolute opposite direction. We, shot digitally, but went for a very filmic look, both on set and in the grade. So it sounds like it kind of came across that way. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the, it has a very polished, sleek look to it. Again, which I'm a huge fan of. And, you know, you got your multitude of, how should we say, oddball, weird, strange characters along the, this journey, which really, it paints this really interesting mural of this adventure that we're going on. Now, Robert, the producer, because we got two Roberts on, your previous works, it includes the psychological thrillers like Stone Creek Killer. What drove you to this comedy crime genre for this film?
Well, what drew me to it was that Robert here was going to make it. My goal was just to like be supportive any way I could and getting him to direct his first feature. Because I'm pretty sure I told you, Robert and I have worked together quite a few times, including Stone Creek Killer, which you watched, and some other projects. So it's like I was just really excited to say, hey, let me support you any way I can. You take the helm on this and make a feature film. So if it was comedy, drama, horror, sci-fi, I would have been on board no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, because Stone Creek Killer is a vastly different tone overall, which another film that I enjoyed was really, really good. So what was each of your core emotional or thematic intentions when you first read this script?
I mean, our intention when we wrote it out. I mean, Ethan and I, we were, just kind of young guys starting out, fresh out of college, and just felt kind of like the world was just in absolute chaos, and felt very little control over our kind of surroundings. So we really wanted to kind of harness that youthful feeling of just chaos and the world crumbling around you, and tried to kind of bring that emotion to life of just a young couple trying to survive it together. And then in addition, I mean, we both have our experiences renting out in LA, and plenty of us and our friends have had plenty of experiences with horrible landlords that I think led us to find some catharsis in our landlord character played by Robert Enriquez himself, meeting a miserable demise. So there's an element of both dealing with our own feelings of chaos and channeling that in, and then also finding some kind of catharsis at the end of it, and some victory over these crazy characters that our leads have to deal with throughout the film.
Yeah, well, the film definitely has this kinetic, chaotic energy to it in the way some of the scenes play out, especially the scene where Robert, he meets his fate as the landlord. That totally caught me off guard. I mean, you were kind of directing us or leading us in a different direction on that.
Yeah, no, totally. We definitely wanted to have a shocking opening. And one thing that Ethan and I connected on very early when we were developing this is not wanting anything to drag in the film. I come from an editing background, and obviously I've edited a lot of films for Robert here. And I definitely wanted something very fast and in your face happening within the first 15 minutes. So Ethan and I joked about how quickly can we get this guy dead in our movie. I think we got him dead by, I want to say, within the first 15 minutes. So pretty pleased that we were able to get that through so quickly.
Yeah, it was a definite tonal shift, because before that, I mean, you kind of get a different feel with this film, and then we're shocked and we're smacked in the face with this unfortunate event, which you kind of let out, at least I did, this morbid laughter and kind of like shock at the same time.
Totally.
Right. Now, Robert Enriquez, you played this evil landlord in this film. How did playing such a dark and shady antagonist affect your perspective as a producer on the same project?
I just love that character. I got every conversation I have with Robert. I'm like, is there any other way we can bring this guy back again? It was just so much fun, and just on the acting side that I don't usually do, because I'm more of on the producing side. So you don't ever get those kind of pages. I see a lot of scripts that come at me or that I'll read for or that I've played, and it's just never that much fun. So that was a super fun thing, and again, that was just wanting to support Robert and getting that film made. It was fun to play that and just do anything I could.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, sometimes you come across these small roles that you go, they're so meaty and there's so much, you can do and have fun with.
Yeah, really, really fun to show the difference between the two leads and that character, and then also have the fun with just the reality of it. Someone my age versus someone their age. It's just a different mindset.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the couple starts off in a position of vulnerability, but end up in total control over their landlord's life. What are your takes on what this reversal says about how power is perceived in our society?
Wow, that's a very deep question. I wish Ethan was here to answer.
I know, Joe, you're making these hard. You didn't tell we have to study first.
No, Ethan's the profound one in this relationship. I'm just along for the ride. No, I think it's going back to what I said before. It's kind of about that feeling of reversal and catharsis in young people. And there's a bit of wish fulfillment, I think, in this that we wanted to capture. Of, man, it would be phenomenal to turn the tables on some of these people that kind of loom over a lot of people in our kind of position in life. But then at the same time, that might feel immediately cathartic, but then leads these characters down this very dark rabbit hole and unlocks this new world for them that they maybe weren't prepared for, that really tests their relationship. And who knows? I mean, down the road, it could ultimately be the right thing for them and the relationship and grows them as people. But it has the potential for kind of immediate chaos, and letting loose like that is, not for the faint of heart, and it really puts their Alice and Viv through the ringer throughout the film.
Yeah, I mean, Alice and her girlfriend, played by Cora Cleary and Vaughn Sweet, they were phenomenal. They really did an amazing job in this. So they're the protagonists in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they become involved in some I don't know, in a cover up, and participate in some, let's just say, some morally ambiguous activities. At what point in the script do you guys think that the audience's sympathy for them is most tested?
Ooh, I think that we wanted to test it from the get-go. I don't think we wanted to make any character in the film too black and white, perfectly good, perfectly evil, maybe apart from our hitman character Smiley, who is, I think, the physical manifestation of
Smiley
evil.
was awesome. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think we ever wanted to make the audience immediately feel like these guys were these absolutely I mean, they are complex people like everybody else in the film. They have kind of potentially selfish motivations. Those are all the Ethan and I, all of our favorite characters are not these perfect saint-like figures, especially in these kind of crime thrillers. I think that's what makes these things interesting. And I think both Ethan and I wanted to kind of portray that moral ambiguity, but at the same time make them likable enough that, and putting them in enough of a situation that, as an audience member, hopefully the majority of our audience will kind of attach onto them and find some sympathy. But I would not be surprised. I mean, there's probably plenty of people who watch this and think, "Oh my gosh, that's crazy! I can't believe they would they would do any of this stuff." But that's the kind of conversation we wanted to have about, just moral ambiguity and living in that grayness, because I think a lot of people our age feel like the world is so chaotic and crazy that, the moral boundaries have kind of blurred to quite a degree. So we wanted to not just put our leads into that world, but make them a full participant in it. So yeah.
Well, I think creating characters that are, there's sort of like a lot of gray area, characteristics. I think that's more identifiable for the audience. I mean, especially if you got characters who start in a good place, or in the obvious protagonist stage in a story. But you present those moral ambiguities and those questionable decisions they make. I mean, we're on board with them because they're more realistic. I mean, you find a suitcase full, with $1 million in it, or something. The goody two shoe would say, "Well, I'm turning it in," but most of us would really think about it and maybe keep it.
Yeah,
I know I would.
Oh yeah, no. As Ethan and I were writing the movie, part of it's like, obviously, yeah, you can write the perfect scenario, but when we look at each other, I mean, honestly, we wrote all this at a brewery, so we were always kind of a few beers deep as we were going through the process. But we just thought about, no bullshit. What would we actually do? Oh yeah, I mean, I think we'd take it and run. I mean, it's like, I know what situation you're living in. I know what situation I'm living in. Like, yeah, we're taking everything, man.
Yeah, and you have your audience going, "Oh hell yeah, good move. Good decision." So, what central questions or themes were you most interested in exploring through these characters, or the characters in general in this film?
I think a lot of what I find interesting, and I find for some reason a lot of my writing revolves around is putting kind of long-term committed couples in just absolute turmoil. The previous film that Ethan and I worked on, I wrote and directed it, and he produced it, was about a family of serial killers, in which the serial killer father was played by Justin Powell, who returned to play Smiley in this film. And I find that very fascinating, just seeing characters kind of put to the test in their relationship. So that's something, a theme that kind of draws me a lot, is just kind of familial overcoming of adversity, and not necessarily just the, Fast and Furious, family, but but seriously, I think there is an element to that where it's, I think there's a strength and a power to relationship and family, and be them your relatives or found family or whatnot. So I think that's something that I am always interested in kind of capturing. And then in addition, and I guess in connection to that, throwing that kind of a relationship into just the abyss of crime and chaos, and the feeling of powerlessness, I think is a big thing. Are we ever truly powerless? Is there any, even at the when you're kind of on the edge of the cliff, are you able to take some of that power back? Is a big element to, I think, a lot of Ethan and my work as artists.
Yeah, and again, it's another theme that's very relatable and solid and strong that we as the audience can, again, definitely identify with, which is the strengths of a relationship. And within the parameters of the story itself as it unfolds, you expose the weaknesses. And in that, you guys definitely did with this film. They're a solid, strong couple. They're very much in love, but yeah, there's fractures in the structure that need to be addressed, and they do. So we have a nice, solid arc with the characters by the end of the film.
Yeah, totally.
Now, a strong director-producer relationship is critical. How did you guys collaborate to ensure that the artistic vision aligned with the practical realities of the production?
Good question. I don't know, Robert. How did we collaborate?
Well, I think. And that, for me, the actual hands-on producing stuff was very little. It was all the heavy lifting on the producing side was Robert and Ethan. I mean, I was there again for support when they needed things. We, from the very beginning, it was like, okay, I have a boat, let's throw that in the mix. So then they wrote the script to fit that, and then I have an office, so let's do castings there. So it was always, to me, just trying to be supportive and give him whatever he needed any way I could, whether it was opening up the doors to my office or swimming under the boat and untying the ropes that were tangled up in the propeller. It's just helping with things like that. Or, remember, Bobby, when we didn't have that garage location, we had to scramble. It's like we're in Palos Verdes trying to figure out where the hell are we going to go and shoot this scene. It's just, but it all worked, and luckily I was able to find someone on that. But for the most part, it was just, things like that, just trying to support any way I could. Because I knew it's been fun working with Robert so many times. He's got that vision of things, and a lot of the projects he likes and references are things that, I was growing up with. He went back and researched them. I was actually there, watching these movies in the 90s, and I think even one of them was Simple Plan. Was that 90s also?
Yeah. Sam Raimi, yes.
Yeah, because that kind of, once you guys were talking about, finding the bag of money, that made me think of that one, another great movie from that time period. But Bobby's just got this old soul and great research into this time period of films that I just really, really dig. And I think it's just always fun to see what he comes up with. So the long and short of it is just support the best I can, and then just stay the hell out of the way.
Yeah, I to add on to that, I have a great photo of Robert. Actually, my wife on our final shoot day, I think, took a film photo of him with his head poking out of the water after he was battling seals in the marina, trying to get our boat untied. And I will say, I don't think a lot of producers would roll up their shirt sleeves to that degree. So he got us home at the end of every shoot day, which I don't know. I mean, this is our first film, so maybe that's a common thing. I would assume not so much.
No, not so much. Just to have to take my shirt off in front of everybody was horrible enough.
Oh.
Everybody
For
was so
them.
distracted. Yeah.
Now, Robert, as you just mentioned, there's sometimes often messy and chaotic situations while shooting a film. What was the most unexpected hurdle you guys faced during the shoot of Rolling? Now, I know you guys shot predominantly in Los Angeles, correct?
Yep.
And that in itself is a challenge. So, what kind of what did you guys face? In anything that was kind of difficult?
Oh man, how much time you got? No, actually, all things considered, considering how limited our budget was for this and how scrappy and run and gun we are, I think we had a surprisingly smooth shoot. Obviously, there were bumps along the way. We lost the location the morning of for our
Oh,
garage
wow.
location. And Robert scrambled to find us another location. And we, took the entire cast and crew and we all shuttled down there and we had far less time to shoot, but we powered through and we knocked all that stuff out. Other than that, I mean, obviously we're shooting on open water in a boat.
Right.
None of that's on a soundstage. So there's plenty of issues there that can pop up. Our first day where we actually took the boat out, we wanted to see how choppy the proper ocean was, and it was quite choppy. And I looked over and I saw Justin, who played Smiley, and he was trying to power through, but I saw in his eyes the look of a man who was about to puke in about 2 minutes. So I told Robert, all right, let's take this sucker back in. We had our fun little joyride and we tied it up just inside the wall here at the marina, where we had far smoother sailing. And from then on out, I mean, I'm proud of the fact that nobody threw up on the water. I know Cora, our lead playing Alice, she had a previous experience with a movie where they filmed out on the water, and she did not hesitate to let everybody know about the sound guy who threw up mid take. So we didn't have that issue, but there's plenty of instances like that. It's just, hey, the boat broke down. We gotta call the Coast Guard or whomever to tow us back in, or we gotta get unhooked, and things are always going on. And I think the key as a filmmaker, when you have very little resources, is to make sure your cast and crew are just great people that you love to work with. That makes everything a lot smoother, making sure everybody is on the same page creatively. We tried to rehearse as much as possible ahead of time because we knew we had very limited time to figure it out as we went along. But also B, I think leaving the door open to spontaneous ideas and problem solving as needed, and not being too set in stone. There's plenty of scenes that we just pivoted on the day and we made work. And I'm just eternally thankful for everybody that was able to kind of hang in there with us. And I think everybody had a blast in spite of the in spite of the difficulties. There were plenty of times where we were just hanging out and it felt like a college party on a boat. And I think some of that joy and fun, it can definitely be felt on screen in the final product.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, you definitely put together a solid film. I mean, I'm watching it, and what really impressed me, one of the things, the technical aspects was, all the scenes on the yacht, and because I know I've heard tons of stories, or shall we say, nightmare stories of of shooting on the ocean. I mean, it's very unpredictable. I mean, this goes way back to 1975, where Steven Spielberg did Jaws, and he said he'll never do that again, and advises greatly against it.
Totally. No, I had heard the stories also growing up, hearing the stories about the Waterworld set that just sank to the bottom of the ocean. And despite hearing all those horror stories, I decided my first film with no resources, hell yeah, we're going out on the water, because who cares? We're going crazy with this one.
There you go. Now, filmmaking always involves unforeseen constraints, like we just mentioned. What was an example of a scene or a shot that had to be changed because of that? And how did that revision actually improve the story, in your opinion?
That's a really good question. I mean, I there's probably countless situations. I mean, one major constraint we had is just time and shoot scheduling. We shot this across 13 days, which feels insane in retrospect.
Wow.
Just every day a new spot of LA where this group of kids just showed up and filmed for a day. But as Ethan and I were figuring out the schedule, our big warehouse overnight shoot, we just could not figure out enough time that night to film all of the night exterior scenes, with them arguing in the car after they leave the party. And after a while, just trying to figure this out, we realized, oh my gosh, we're shooting a full day on an LED screen for the driving scenes only, just plates of people driving around. Why don't we throw the background of our location up on the screen behind them in the car, which we're already going to have the car in the soundstage, and just shoot that scene there. And so we did that. And luckily that allowed us to have enough time to really craft that pivotal fight scene or argument scene, I should say, between Alice and Viv, and make sure that I had enough time to shoot, instead of just after an all-nighter shoot running outside before the sun rises, and trying to get the shot across. We actually made sure to have enough time for that key scene, and I think it plays a lot better because we weren't rushing it. And then additionally, on that note, I think Raymond, who played Landon in the film, he has a comedic beat in that scene where he tells them that they need to take a shower that just absolutely killed us on set. And again, I think that was a scene that I really wanted to, not just for the drama, but for that comedy beat. I wanted to make sure we weren't rushing it, so I'm really glad that we pivoted to shooting it on that stage. And at the end of the day, I think I myself was shocked at how well it looked on screen, and to me, I think most people wouldn't guess that was all shot on an LED wall. I think it lands as just a night exterior.
Yeah, and it looks gorgeous. It really does. Now, Robert, you're passionate about mentoring young artists. What is the number one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time producer trying to distribute their films today?
Hey, when that topic comes up, Bobby, it's so hard. I mean, I guess the main thing is, when it comes to the distribution side now, is just make sure, a few things. One, make sure you have plenty of material that you can use, and that's something that's great that Bobby does. He's got so many good clips that he can put out there that are either from the film, or that he creates something new from footage that's already there, or B-roll. Just being creative with all that stuff, because you got to put in so much into the marketing side or nobody's going to see it. So, and a lot of people, for one, they don't have money. So if you don't have money to push that side of it, that's key, because there's so many being made now, and it's not this crazy mystery to be able to get on a streamer. But once you're on there, how are you going to get your audience? So I think that's one of the big things that more and more people are catching on to it and doing it. And I think Bobby's done a great job with what he's done so far. Luckily to have the skills that he has to be able to do that. So to me, with the newer filmmakers, that's any filmmaker, not even new, just anybody, that's just so important. They spend everything they have and all their time, and then by the time they get to the marketing and distribution side, a lot of them are burnt out, and I've seen that over and over. They'll put in a couple days and think that's going to give them a home run, but it's a good 2, 3, 4 month process if you really want to get your money back.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Now, what was your approach, Robert, to directing the lead actors through their character arcs? And, how did you balance giving specific notes with letting actors find their performances organically?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a challenge, especially with a cast this large. We had new people on every day, intentionally so. We wanted a large cast, but that meant it was kind of a revolving door, and we didn't have a lot of time with everybody outside of our kind of core group of our kind of three heroes and Smiley. But I think a lot of that comes down to feeling very confident in all of their casting. I felt like, as much as I would hope they were in good hands with us as directors, I felt as a director in good hands with them, that they took the material seriously, and they all spent plenty of time. I mean, there were plenty of times where I peeked at their marked up scripts, and they had tons of notes and ideas. And a lot of what I try to pursue on set is a collaboration between the director, the talent, and myself. If they come up with an idea, there's no world where I'm going to ignore it or shut it down. There might be situations where we don't have the time to experiment, but there were so many lines that had slight tweaks that I love to hear from them. And I think what I love is when an actor really makes a role their own. And I try to avoid kind of reigning with an iron fist, and I want there to be that kind of spirit of creativity on set from everybody involved. I mean, there are ideas we even got from Alex, our sound guy. Randomly, he'll just throw an idea, and it's great. Everybody's kind of brainstorming all together
Mhm.
at the same time. And then in terms of direction, I really like to keep things minimal and just focused on character motivation of, just reminding them, here's what your goal is in this scene, and do it. A lot of what I like to kind of assemble in casts is people who are comfortable in improvisation, and most of the script is pretty much identical on the screen, but I think that spirit of improvisation, it really helps a lot of the cast members make things feel as natural and cohesive as possible. And if things get a little off the rails in a scene, I feel confident as a director that the talent is there, that they'll rein it back in, and they'll find their way out of whatever pickle they might have gotten themselves into. And yeah, I mean, I think this the more openness there can be on set, the better. And even if on a film with as limited resources as ours, we made that a priority. And I think you can feel how personally connected everybody was to their characters in their performances on screen. I'm really proud of that.
I think a lot of time, if you cast the right people, the director's job is easy on set in regards to having to mold anything really. And Bob did a lot of casting, and I think that's what a lot of younger filmmakers don't do, is they don't have the sessions. Like he and Ethan, they put in a lot of time. They did live auditions. So, a lot of people now, they're just looking at tapes, or they just throw their friends in there and they hope for the best, and then they're struggling to get a performance out of them. So it's like when you have those in-room auditions, he was actually already able to give adjustments and see how things feel and see how things play. And not only does that mold the performances, also sometimes that helps mold what actually ends up in the script before you even arrive to set. So that was fun to see those guys spend a lot of time on the casting.
Well, the collaborative effort that you had on set and the fun that you guys had, obviously it definitely reflects on the screen. And I mean, I can usually tell. I can watch a film. Maybe I'm wrong half the time. Hell, I don't know. Maybe I don't know anything. I don't know.
I think you know stuff.
But I could tell. You say, these guys are having fun, whether it's a bad film or a good film. I mean, look at there's a film that came out ages ago called Cannonball Run with Burt Reynolds, and not a great film, but a lot of fun. But I think the primary thing that really sparked that film was that they were all having a blast, and it didn't hurt that they were half the cast was drunk half the time. But
that's part of they're all drunk and uncomfortable.
right. But that camaraderie and collaborative effort is very important on a film. And again, it shows on screen that they're really enjoying working on this film, taking it seriously, respecting the source material. And the result is, you're going to have a very good product, as you guys definitely have.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you could feel that fun. And I just wanted to make note, as far as I'm aware, from a directorial standpoint, no substances were involved in our fun. But if there were, who cares? Everybody had a great time, so that's great.
It worked out for the best, exactly.
Indeed.
So when the credits roll in the theaters, or they're watching at home on VOD, what is a primary emotional resonance you guys hope that the audiences take away from this film?
Great question. I mean, not to just keep going on it, but I really hope that they just have fun, and feel the fun energy. Obviously, the film is crazy and does not take itself seriously, like, at all, and that's our goal. So I think, in my book, as a filmmaker, your number one goal is entertainment. And if you're not entertaining your audience, you're doing your job wrong. So that is the absolute pinnacle. And then any other kind of thematic or subtextual things that I hope they take away are secondary, but they're obviously there. I mean, I hope that people, think about maybe their relationships and people that maybe they've like taken for granted, and things that they can improve upon as just human beings, and sharing common decency with their fellow man. I don't know. I hope that there's no violence against landlords. That's not. I just want to say on record that's not a goal of mine with this film, to encourage that. But if but no, I think at the end of the day, I just hope that people have a blast watching it, and just really have fun with the characters, and feel like the characters are their friend group, just hanging out, dealing with chaos together.
Well, you definitely achieved that mission tenfold. Absolutely.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Again, the film is a lot of fun, stylistically shot. It's beautiful to look at, and it's quite a ride. So listeners, please, you have to check Rolling Out. So why don't you guys tell our listeners where they can catch the film?
Yeah. So the film dropped on Prime Video a few weeks ago. So it's available on Prime to rent and buy. And then as of, Robert, I want to say last week, our DVD and Blu-rays are now available. So if anybody wants to pick up physical media, the best way to watch the movie would be on Blu-ray with the least amount of compression on streaming. So if you want to look at those pretty visuals in all their Blu-ray glory, pick up the Blu-ray on Amazon as well. But the most accessible way would likely be renting it on Prime Video.
All right, fantastic.
Buy it, don't rent it. Buy it.
Buy it.
Hey, Robert, we're men of the people.
That's the producer speaking right there. Oh, fantastic. And so anyway, guys, I just want to express my appreciation and thank you guys so much for coming on. It's awesome meeting you and speaking to you again, Robert.
Sure.
And best of luck on the film. Thanks again, man.
Yeah, thanks so much. Ethan sends his love as well.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, no problem. So folks, thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you enjoyed the show. Please help to support the podcast by giving us a nice 5-star rating. Leave us a good review. Or another way you can support us is simply to subscribe and or follow us on Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Audible, Boomplay, or wherever you get your podcast fix. Also, don't forget to check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Threads, TikTok, and Blue Sky. All of this good stuff, you can find it in our show notes below in our LinkTree link. You can also contact us directly by email to thefilmjoepod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. So with that being said, I'm Joe, and this is the Filmjoe Podcast, where film talk happens.